There's a major problem with the music player. Uh, at some point, we're gonna have to program about a music player. I know that's stupid to say, but I really, really hate when the music player, when it jumps to a different song, it just never, never works. So that's gonna be annoying. No, to interact, you must watch on Twitch.tv. Link to the Twitch channel. This will be sticking. Sorry, chat. Had to do some things today. We're also not playing the dating sim game because my wife's trip was today and not tomorrow. I thought it started tomorrow, so my bad. So we're not going to be playing the dating sim today. We're actually going to go back to Road Warden because yeah, I was going to do Road Warden tomorrow, but we might as well just shuffle things down like a day in terms of like stuff, which is fine because it all makes sense and it fits. So there's also going to be no song choices today because I was busy setting up some new background music, as you can probably hear. I've been on a huge jungle and drum and bass kind of bend. I think it's that one video of that guy who was going crazy on the drums. Seeing that one person on the drums in real life going insane, I thought was very, very entertaining to me. It tickled some point in my brain. There's something about percussion that feels good to have. Sorry, good to hear. Sorry, but the coffee's still taking some time to kick in. And percussion, again, as I showed you, is a very, very, very old instrument. Oh God. It's a very old sound that many different cultures have in terms of like your ancient ancestral instrument. Like many different cultures have a different type of that, and it's very interesting to sort of see how widespread it is. So it's nice. It's almost like that sound that we're all aware of too, because in a weird way, all of us can hear the thump, right? You can hear the thump deep inside of your body, your heartbeat, and it goes out into the reverberations in the world around you, the footsteps of animals, every single step that you take, when you lay down to rest and as you rise in the morning. It's a very very fascinating sound because it's not really a sound; it's just more of an impact. It's the results of something, but because of that, it's very easy to connect to, and it's very easy to understand because it's everywhere. It's nice. It's very nice. But welcome to today's stream. Maybe we'll add that music player to the list of what to program because it'd be nice anyways. Because I haven't actually done like an audio video project in like a very very long time, which I probably should. I've been meaning to as well because I realized with like the other playlists that the fading between songs sucked, and I don't want to run yet another program on the side. Right? It's like I have too many programs as is. I've got like my VST. Well, I have my like DAW, which is my VST host. I've got VTube Studio. I've got like browsers to show you guys things. I've got like Discord open just in case, because some days people will like ask me like, hey, do you want to play something and like stuff, and then they'll cancel last minute. If you're here watching, I know it's just because you're tired. It's fine. Don't worry. But yeah, we're gonna figure out how to do things moving forward. However, that's why we had this whole week. So up until Thursday or Friday, I think. My wife is busy on a trip. We actually have an extended streaming week. So we're going all the way until Thursday or Friday. It depends on when she wants to like come over and like hang out when she's done her like trip. She's actually going to the States, which is that's interesting timing. I messaged her, so it should be okay. But yeah, we're gonna see how things go. Today we have a couple of things to go over. One major thing that I found, I found this thing was really really cool. But in general, the schedule is this: we're gonna do some exploration of a little place called 8800 Blue Lick Road, which I only just found out the existence of. This is apparently a very well-known thing that I had no clue about, and I actually was able to pull down the original dump of this place. It's gonna be That's a weird phrase, but it'll make sense once you see it. Then we're gonna play Road Warden for the rest of the day, okay? But some things to talk about, which is one, the multi-streaming situation and the things that we need to build for the stream, including the music player, and then two, a really really cool science fiction project that I found that is kind of my dream come true in like a weird way. It's the thing that I expected somebody to come up with at some point, right? That somebody would like eventually make to sort of show off their, I guess, like science fiction world. If this makes sense. It's similar to what you would see for something like on the scale of Cyberpunk, but for its own completely different thing. It's a really cool thing that I'll show you in just a bit. But first, some stream logistics stuff. I'm taking over the spot of the monkey. Sorry, the monkey will just go. We have some things that we need to do, which is, as you can probably hear, I mean, it's probably annoying to hear it cut out every now and then. Son of a bitch. What happened now? Where's the music now? Hey, chat. God, I hate this music player so much. Hey, Chad. Anyways, the music player, as you can probably tell, has some issues. Okay, what happened to the streamer? It's our setup from yesterday's stream when we were hacking things. I didn't bother to 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 take it off because it's nice and cozy. It's a pretty cold day today. I say as I'm sitting in sweltering heat. We furry now, Chad. That's just that was your mistake. We were always furry. We've always been furry. Ah, no, I'm just kidding. It's just because of the hacking stream. But hey, this is a furry safe space. Actually, you're free to be anything that you want here, including being a furry. We're gonna talk about what we need to do for the stream stuff. Okay. I have copied all this into real documents, so I think I can lose all this. Except for this, I didn't copy this in, but I want to remind you all of where you stand. This is where you stand in relation to me, you pores. Anyways, there's some stream management stuff, right, that I'm realizing that we need to do. And that's very critical to, I think, the streaming experience. This is something that I've been thinking about for a very long time. Stream management. And again, if you weren't here for the whole pores joke, it's because I make six figures, and then we realized that a lot more of the chat is actually rich. So we now realize where everyone stands in relation to each other, and everyone knows that the money that you make is actually indicative of how much of a human you are. Um, there's one thing that we need to fix here. Okay, well, two. There are two things. We have the music, which is the background music that you hear. Okay, not necessarily the music choices, but the music player itself. This thing is a mess at the moment. So, stick so serious today. No, it's not serious. I just like doing this with you because I know that some of you are very interested in these architectural things. Unless you mean the money thing, in which case I'm not being serious. How could you be serious? I take nothing seriously. And then as well as the what was the other thing that I was gonna do? The multi-streaming. Okay, so those of you watching on YouTube, I don't care about any of you, but I do care about the amount of time that it takes me. I'm so sorry, I'm so gassy to like update this. Do this. I can I can draw that. Oh, is it a wide face or is it like a small face? I can draw that. Okay, like for context, this is not the image is like cropped here, so it's not me. My wife is texting. Give me a second. Sorry, as I mentioned, my wife is currently on a trip, and she let me know where she is. So now she will disappear because her data. Canadians are treated as second class citizens in America, despite us being like neighbors. Okay, we don't get free data as we step into America, which like sucks. Is that what the cat's eyes look like? What do the cat's eyes look like? Oh, it's like a little. It's like really slanted. It's like happy. Okay, well, too slanted and I'm racist, so I have to be really careful here. Too slanted and I'm racist. Use your imagination and fill the left side. Alright, I got this, Chad. Don't worry. Uh, I got this. I got this. Okay, the good. It's good thing. It's a good thing that you said that because the ear was also way too like. This looks like a shitty Shrek, but this guy is. I think because of the perspective, it's more like this. I think it's like this. Then he goes like this. I don't see the difference between what I did and like what the crop was. It all looks the same. Okay, well that's fine. We'll just do it like this, and then this eye is behind like a nose, and the nose. I love cat noses because they look so weird. Yeah, there we go. That's good. And then it's a little smiley cat. Can you tell that this is a cat? Okay, now it's unmistakable that it's a cat. How do cat eyes look like? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. with his little button nose. Oh, and they had that like triangle nose. Yeah, here we go, just like this. Perfect. Meow. This is a perfect cat costume. If I saw this on the stage of Cats, I think I would actually want to watch that terrible show. So, give me a second. Uh, wait, I don't have the emote. Oh no, chat. Is the emote gone? Give me a second. We used to have it. There it is. I think I got removed because I was also cleaning up the emotes. There we go. Anyway, so the reason why we're doing this talk is because I know that some of you enjoy hearing about the architecture of things, and today I'm going to break down how we're going to make these bits and pieces better because I think this is a interesting from a technical perspective because we're going to have to program these at some point, but also be interesting just as a problem solving thing because this is a strange problem space to be in, right? These two different things are two very wildly different projects. You've got your I'm gonna move him. I'm gonna put him inside of a box. I'm gonna put him inside Schrodinger's box. Is the cat alive or is it dead? Can you really tell if the cat is alive or dead? No. Schrodinger's box. Schrodinger's box is like, is the furry actually alive or is it dead? You can't really tell. Your cat looks angry. It's not angry. He's not angry, chat. He's happy. He's supposed to be a happy cat. Maybe he looks more mischievous than angry. I'm gonna say mischievous, right? Mischievous, as some might say, but that's a weird way of saying it. Wait, but okay, we're gonna leave the cat inside Schrodinger's box. All right, this is Schrodinger's box. The cat looks like it just dropped a glass from the table. Yeah, it does. Like this, and it's like, oh no, the glass. You guys ever see that one post of like that like dude who was like, guys, help me remove a cylinder from a hole, but you cannot break the cylinder. You cannot cut the cylinder. And then everyone was like, you stuck your dick in it, didn't you? Like, yeah, maybe. It's probably what happened to the guy, but he didn't want to say. Anyways, these two problems, okay? The music player is one major thing. If you notice, if you listen to the music, okay, this song is gonna end. I'm gonna skip to the end. Listen. So it's the end. Do you see how it cuts off in like a weird, in a very strange way? Listen. End of the song. Swap over to a new song. The problem is that what happens when it swaps over to a new song, the music player doesn't do a very nice fade. In fact, the music player at the moment is just a VLC playlist in OBS. I don't know why, but there's no way to add like a filter like you normally would to the OBS VLC playlist. So what ends up happening is that as one track cuts to the next, as it wants to cut to like track 2, so let's do T1, and you want to go to T2, there's this gap. That gap is because T2 is currently loading. So, but what's the loading indicator? It's like this, right? And it's like this. Okay, now that's just like a brightness indicator. Whatever. What I'm trying to say is, when it wants to go towards T2, it actually has to load. So this is like a loading section over here. It has to load in the T2 file from my hard drive, from my SSD. It's a local SSD, so it should be fast. But I/O will be faster than whatever your code is, and I guarantee you the code isn't doing a good job, right? So the load over here, it's not being done well. It's not sharing the load, which is a problem. Because what this means is that you have this weird gap in between songs, which sucks because I like the gap between songs because then I can actually tell you what song is currently playing. But that's why usually when I play like a whole playlist of songs, I usually play the entire playlist. Like I might play, for instance, this one. How do I just play this one? How do I just like force it to play something? Well, okay. Well, you'll hear it in about 5 hours. That's the reason why I tend to play just one single playlist, like a single audio file that has every single song mixed in together as a workaround to this problem. The problem is that more and more of you are asking where I get my songs and what the song is called. These songs are just random remixes of like various game songs. Obviously, I know who the artists are on like YouTube and stuff, but I just all I can do is link you to the channel and then just say like have like fun, right? So what I usually do is like this: T1, T2, and then it's just one long file. It's like just one continuous file. I want to keep it like this so that I can actually tell you which song is which. So we need to move from this model into something like this. This is a weird technical problem that a lot of music players have to deal with. A lot of music players need to do this because it's the same problem that you see in every single platform. Spotify, you actually get some of this. If you listen to like say an entire album, song by song by song, like a Daniel Caesar song, a Daniel Caesar album. What was his album? There was one album that I used to play a lot on the stream. Daniel Caesar album. Albums. Motherfucker's my age. What the fuck? This dude's my age? Holy shit. Freudian. If you listen to his Freudian album on Spotify, it's very different from when you have the album in person, right? In person, like the actual album itself, if you play it as like one whole file, it sounds so good. The transition between each and every single song is perfect. There is no gap in between. On Spotify, you actually get this cut because of the loading issue. What you ideally want to have happen is something like this. You want to be able to load the song before it even has to play. So you want it to basically start the loading somewhere around here. Then, as it gets ready to actually play, you can just switch over to it immediately and start the audio track at the same time simultaneously, such that you can line up both the start points of it, right? So the load needs to happen somewhere over here. Ideally, this shouldn't result in anything bad. On most every computer, this should be a very cheap operation to do, right? You've already loaded track number 1 in by doing its loading operation back over here. And so you're not actually going to run into any issues where like you might get stuttering, like I'm doing right now on track number 1 as you load in track number 2. Because presumably you've already done this like work. You're no longer pulling the file anymore. The entire thing should be loaded into memory, which isn't that bad technically. It shouldn't be that bad. And if you stream it over if you stream it from the file itself, it shouldn't be that bad. Anyways, too, because once you have that handle open, it should be fine. These two should be able to operate independently. I don't think there's a single, even like a hard drive today, like a HDD, a hard disk drive that is going to have any performance problems with two file descriptors open, right? The file descriptor being like, okay, what is this file? Where does it exist on your disk and like stuff? This should be easy. And what you should get is a much more seamless transition, because what you just heard there was a very hard cutoff transition. Problem is, I don't want to run another program. If I'm going to run another program, this program has to do basically everything that I want every other program to do in one go. Right now, my desktop looks a bit like this. Okay, this is my desktop. My desktop looks like this. I've got like a million goddamn programs on at one moment. I've got my DAW. Okay, my digital audio workstation. I use this for VST host. It's sometimes why you hear me too quiet on stream, because sometimes I actually use it to make music. So like sometimes I forget to switch to the I can't remember the project that has all my voice filters. I've got sometimes VTube Studio. It really depends on if we're doing like a stream that needs it. I have OBS, obviously. I've got Voicemeeter, which is like a whole different thing, which is nice for routing music and routing sound. I use it a lot, actually. I route a lot of sounds around to various tracks. It helps a lot with like the control of things. I've got Obsidian, which is like my sort of like session notes. So this thing has all of our notes for what we're going to be doing today, because I tend to forget what the plan is, as you probably saw yesterday. That was in full force. And I almost always have my browser open, right? This is not an insignificant amount of load on my machine. And it's annoying because I don't want to get too much load going on, especially in these segments. But also, I don't want too much cognitive overhead, right? Because I need to go and search for these different things on 3 different monitors in order to like mix the show well. Presumably, if I have to do the music player as a separate one, I'd have another, media player running as well on the side that I then need to configure and make it do all the stuff. But there's also some other tasks that we need to do as well. That are more about the start and the stop, but also like in general, just like stuff that I need to do in the middle of a streaming too. It used to be ads, but now I've turned off mid-roll ads, and now you deal with like pre-rolls. which is also like which is going to be one of them will be the multi-streaming stuff. So basically, I also need like a management console, so like a stream management console for like everything as well. And then eventually, as we get larger and larger and larger, I'm also hey chat. I'm also going to need to make a thing where it's like uh I can sort of see and interact with the various redeems that you guys do, as well as the various things that you guys might do on our channel specific custom applications. So like stick space and stuff like that. So for instance, I would want to do for instance the multi-stream stuff here. Okay, well my writing is just dog shit at the moment. Just don't mind that. Stick space. Because I need to monitor what you guys are doing, and it'd be nice to show this on like stream to show what everyone's doing. And then whatever just random segments that I might have, right? Whatever random stuff we might do in the future. Maybe we even do a point where we have, because I am planning like a very special. Always exactly. We've always been furry chat. It's just like I said. We've always been a furry here. I only make fun of furries because I think it's funny in like an ironic way. But again, this is a very safe space. You're allowed to be whatever you want here. I actually don't care. You're just allowed to do anything as long as you don't hate people. I'm fine with you being here. And so yeah, so other random stream segments. So I'm also playing like a Christmas thing for all of us to play, which is gonna be something that we're gonna program on like on stream as well. Which means I need some way to monitor all of this and also like show you guys like what all this stuff is, because some of this stuff will need like a separate management console that allows us to like see it. But also it'd be fun to show you guys as like well. But this could be anything, right? Whether it's a Christmas game or even just some random thing, even like Excalidraw. I mean, which is a part of the browser, right? But all this stuff takes away context, and it takes like a whole monitor to set up, because it you need space to do all of this stuff. Sorry, I was preparing a tab for later. Which is annoying because then I have too many things that I need to be careful of and like watch over. Already, one of my monitors has like 5 applications, which is like frustrating. And the media player, I don't even know like what a good music player is that can do smooth fading between tracks without it being like a fade. You know what I mean? Because there's 2 ways to go about this problem where your sound file doesn't load. Okay, a lot of platforms fade. You saw Excalidraw in Obsidian extensions today. Wait, really? Is it for drawing? I have no clue actually. Yo, wait a minute. That's sick. What is this? It allows you to integrate search for Excalidraw. Oh my god, wait, chat. It's a fully featured sketching plugin in Obsidian. This may be the keeper, because then I can get rid of everything else. Is that magic? You must be a wizard. Wait, chat. I'm downloading it right now. I'm downloading it right now. Wait, how's that work? So is it just a separate file? I'm downloading this right now. Unless that's you. In which case, did you just advertise your own thing and did you just dox yourself? Let's see. Community plugins? Is it this? Wait, sorry, chat. I didn't find this. Core plugins. No. Audio recorder? What the fuck? Nah, you have no idea what it is. Oh, that's yeah, sure, okay. It's just like how that other chat member sends us emotes, and it's like, hey, can you add this like emote? It's like, yeah, sure. I wonder who made these emotes. What the fuck? It's the most widely used plugin. It just showed up as like the first thing. It's in community plugins or something. Yep, found it. Cool. Okay, let's install this. Chat, why is it telling me to enter my social security number? Is my complete catalog of videos. Okay, so it integrates into something. You can store and edit Excalidraw files. You can embed drawings into your documents. All right, here we go. That's good. There we go. That's why you saw it. Yes, that makes sense. Because it is just in the middle of like nowhere. So maybe put this over here. Put this over here. Put this over here. I can't show you these because a lot of this is like cringe. But also not cringe. A lot of this is like writing stuff that I've been doing for a long time. Put this over here. Save these for a future stream segment. Future weird stream This is done. I did this last time. Still need to show this. Okay, well now you guys get something new to be seen too. What? It died? No way it died. Not gonna lie, you're the kind of person that would use Obsidian. It's really good. Okay, so Obsidian I think is a great, great tool because I like markdown files. I think they're flexible enough for you to do everything that you need to do, but they're also very, very handy because you can store them anywhere. They're just text files, right? And all you really need to do, it's a bit like that idea behind HTML and CSS, right? You have your semantic document structure that describes your information, that describes how to lay out your information and how to sort of parse your information. And then the browser will show it in a way that, will make sense for, say, the technology, like for screen readers and like stuff. And if you have a table of contents, it'll add like a table of like contents for you. Hi, mod. However, for CSS, you can then style it. So you can make a heading like an H1 actually look like an H1 or like an H2 or like an H3, which is nice because then you can do a whole bunch of things with that. You can make it look different. I find markdown files to be very much the same, where it's like you can have the markdown file describe the structure of your content, like describe the content itself, and then you can have the styling of whatever it consumes that markdown to like render it, change what it looks like to fit whatever need you want. On top of that, Obsidian has the great, great system of links. Those semantic links that you have between various files that you can make. Then allows you to explore the web of ideas, right? So if I say I want to play like Road Warden in a stream, I can actually go back and look at every stream date when we played Road Warden because I track every single stream session in its own file. So I can show you a bit. Well, I didn't do it for this one. And also, I need to remove that because that's for a later stream. Sorry. You need stuff in the cloud. So, fun fact, Obsidian does have a cloud integration, but also it's easy to use Obsidian in the cloud as well because as long as you have it in a synced folder, it's just text files, right? So all you need to do is just sync sync the entire vault, and you basically have free cloud tracking. It's just a bunch of files. Even like the whole backlinking stuff, it's just a bunch of files that are just there, and you can just sync it with whatever cloud like application you like have. You can also pay for theirs, but it's very expensive. There's also open source alternatives that they sponsor. So Obsidian runs as a service that you can pay for cloud as well as syncing. But there's also third party like open source stuff that they sponsor. So Obsidian also says, hey, if you want the free stuff, it's a bit more setup. You need to be a slightly technically in the client to set up. But they sponsor it and they allow you to do it for free too, which is insane. I've never seen a company do that except for like very major like corporate players who are looking to use open source to funnel towards their development team as almost like a recruitment tool. Obsidian is a very small team. Like Obsidian as a tool was made by 2 students, right? So to see them do that to sponsor effectively free competitors that replicate their own paid offerings is an insane move from them that I think is a very, very good move. Not from a moral standpoint, but from a community building standpoint, it adds a lot of trust to what they do. So yeah, I just in general, if it's just a bunch of files, very easy to sync. If you use like OneDrive or any equivalent of that, where you can like specify a folder as like a sync folder, you can just do that. It's very, very handy. I mean, Google Drive has this, OneDrive has this, Dropbox has this. I think every single one has this. Um, so yeah, it's up to you if you want to do stuff. Yeah, OneDrive here. I mean, I say it because I know like one person who like heavily uses OneDrive, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I think OneDrive is amazing." And I'm like, "Oh, you sweet summer child. How come? Wait until you see Google Drive. That shit is actually like good and battle tested and doesn't have like the Microsoft bugs. Google Drive has its own issues, but the Microsoft stuff is insane. Anyways, let's see if this works. All right. So gonna switch it over. I think I hit every single file that I needed to. This is what I usually work with within Obsidian. Oh. So for instance, I don't have the backlinks here, but like I can go like here. I could do a backlink towards the Road Warden stuff. So I have this in my games, and I can see from all the backlinks, I can sort of go from there and see like, okay, what all of it is. So I can go from say, where's the Road Warden stuff? So I can see from July 21st to Road Warden, and I can click on that to say, oh, okay, okay, what is this? And then in here, I actually need a bunch of notes to do. I need to find that text file that has the list of things we did, because I actually forget what we do in this game. I keep a running log every time we play this like game of what we did. The game did not release in 2001. That's just I don't have a good naming system. Also, these links are broken. I need to fix this. Um, but it's nice because then I can sort of go from here and then I can see like, okay, well, who else has used this, right? What's the way to go back? Is it this? Is it this? Bookmarks? Is it this? Is it this? This one. So I can also see like, okay, well, what links to Roadwind? How many times have I played this, right? This one. Wait, that's Call of Duty. Get me out of here. That's VR chat. Or like here, for instance, right? Let's say I want to know VR chat. Well, I list all the worlds over here separately because they might have information. It's like handy to have like a whole list of stuff. Anyways, let's try this. Let's try this Excalibur thing. New Canvas. Is that Skeledraw? I don't know if this is Skeledraw. Drag to add note. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to enable it. Wait. You can't see it yet. Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. You're gonna get flashbanged. Give me a moment. No. Automate scripts? What the fuck? No. Stop that shit. Stop it. Stop it now. Obsidian is not your thing. Yeah, it's fine. Like there's gonna be a different thing for every single person, right? And it's always gonna be like, okay, how do you make use of it, right? Everybody's gonna have like a different thing that they want to like do. However, I do think it's actually very, very handy to have. So let me see if I can copy paste all this. Yo, my computer's dying. Give me a second. Well, that didn't work. Okay, how about this? What if I just export this? You want a really simple editor. You use Discord to store your notes. Well, there's alternatives to it too. There's another one that's similar to Obsidian, but not quite, where it's just a text editor, like a normal text editor too. I mean, realistically, even Obsidian itself, you can use like transfer. You can just use it as normal text files, right? So it's the level of complexity is whatever you want to make it. It's just that problem of like people use it and they believe that they have to use it where it's like, oh, you have to go ahead and like use it as a full markdown editor, but it's not that bad. Too much to set up. It's a single whatchamacallit install. Like I'm not doing this to like refute what you're saying, but I think the problem is much deeper. I think the problem is something else entirely, which is like most people should just feel okay saying I don't want to do something because I don't want to do it. And it's easier to just say that than have to justify it, because I guarantee you a lot of the justifications don't really do much. Because again, it's fine to just say like you don't want to do anything and you just want to like use something simple, but it's not that much to set up. It's not that much to like have. It's very easy to like do things. It's very easy to like get things going. It's a fairly straightforward system. You tried it. I had a lot of stuff out of the box, and file saving / hierarchy is like weird. I guess they mean set up too much left for the cloud, since Discord does it automatically. Well, it depends on what they mean for the cloud too, right? Because it's like Discord, you get it by default, but your text editor is like that tiny little box. Whereas like if you use Google Drive, for instance, if you want to sync local files, you still have to drag them in anyways. And when you want to, I guess like use your like external syncing service, like your external backup service, for like a larger amount of files, having to drag back and forth the like file is annoying. So what most people do is they just download Google Drive and they run it locally on their machine, and it automatically syncs, right? So it's like you want to be able to open the notes on your phone. Well, even that, well, actually no, that's not really possible. That's a good use case. But everything else, it just feels like maybe I guess a misunderstanding of how it works, which again isn't necessarily wrong, because it means that maybe the system that it doesn't explain it very, very well. But even something as simple as like saving and like pulling things out, it's not that bad actually to pull and save things out, because this hierarchy is just under a folder somewhere. So for instance, I can find this. If you right click and then you go into what was it? Wait, sorry, this one. You have to right click on the file itself, and you go to Show in System Explorer. You just open it in your folder. It's all in like one single folder, and then you just drag and drop wherever you want. So there is, I would say it's more of a learning curve for sure than just using Discord. But what you get in return is like all of this. You think Obsidian has a phone app, but not sure if it's easy to sync it for free. It's not. So that's the one thing that I will say is I'm sad that Obsidian does not have a good phone app. Their nearest competitor actually has a good phone app as well, but their nearest competitor is not free by default. So you have to pay for the whole thing. So no matter what the phone app side, you always have to pay for it, which is usually what people have to do anyways. Because like, if you don't pay for it, the problem is that like, Notion, no, not Notion. Notion is not the same. Notion's very, very different. Notion's like a whole different thing. Notion is more about like documentation as like blocks versus building a knowledge graph. It's basically Notion is like the equivalent of like your own Wikipedia page versus necessarily a knowledge graph that you can jump back and forth between different nodes for. Like I can't do this in like Notion. And obviously most of these nodes aren't connected because I haven't actually done most of them yet. But you can't see like an overview of like what idea leads to like what if you want to find things. Sessions old? Oh yeah. Notion is just more like a Wikipedia page. I can't remember what the other one was. Obsidian Alternative. It's one that you had to pay. Paid. I'm trying to find the name of it. Maybe they died actually. Oh, it's Rome. It's Rome. This is the one. It's Rome. This is it's weird. I don't know why the Wikipedia page says it's a direct competitor to Notion, because Notion, to me, has never been like a very good graphing tool. It's never been a very good Zettelkasten tool. It's been a very good documentation tool, but the graph features of it have been very, very behind because they focus more on project management and more on building documentation as a team, which is a whole different subsection. Whereas like Rome and Obsidian are very much about building a graph of like knowledge that you can refer back to at any moment. But Rome is the one. That one has a lot of advertising behind it, actually. Oh, what is this? What's all this at the bottom? Anyways, this plugin actually works like well. But yeah, I will say it's fine to just say that you don't want to use it for the sake of not just using it, because I think it's fine for people to just, say that you don't want to do it, right? But I think a lot of people are just afraid to just say that, like, they just don't want to do it. But it's like, it's fine to just say you don't want to do it. You don't need to have reasons for it, right? Because all those reasons are easily refutable in the sense of, like, it is straightforward to know where your files go. It's just one single folder, and then you can add subfolders. You don't have to, engage with the really intense stuff. You can just use it as like text files. It's fairly straightforward. Like if I make a new note, I can just be like, okay, my new note, and I can just type anything. There's no need to even learn Markdown. And if you want syncing, I mean, the syncing is the one where I'm like, okay, like it makes sense. That's the one where I'm like, you either want to pay for it or you already have the existing syncing flow. The only nice part is that if you have an existing syncing flow, Obsidian compared to other systems integrates very, very well with that existing flow. I don't think Rome, for instance, the files are very easy to export. I think the files themselves have it's a proprietary format. The way the formatting is only for that file, as well as the fact that the structure of how it does the links, it's not kept in like the one vault folder. I don't think, but it's been a while since I tried it. And Notion is a whole mixed bag. The export on that thing is so painful that you immediately lose tracking on it. Like you lose history because the export is not the same as the source artifact, which is like the text file. So it's like, depending on your tracking flow, it's like if you don't already have a built-in solution and you want one that like comes with it, then I can understand, right? But if you have one, which I found most people to like already have one, not even like a developer. Like I've seen like non-developers have their own flow where it's like, yeah, I downloaded Google Drive and I just had this whole folder synced. I'm like, all right, cool. Then they use this and it's very simple because it just syncs the whole folder, right? But again, it really depends on like what your use cases are. If you need phone and syncing, it's not a very good choice because there's a lot of manual setup. But if you need like everything else, like something that just works on text files, and then something that just works for like adding folders and like stuff, then you pretty much have this. It's pretty straightforward. And then you can add more features as you go. Like you can add the backlinking if you want to. I just broke all of mine because I was reformatting all of this because my notes were like everywhere. There used to be text files everywhere on my desktop. So, and that's nice too because the search function is very very nice. So for instance, I can go like say, Road Warden. I can see literally every single time that we've done Road Warden. Why, where, what was it for? I lost all the other old stream sessions because I forgot to. Well, it's in here. It's in this other larger text file before I realized that I want like a separate one. But even in this larger text file, I see all the various uses of it. So I can see like, okay, what days did we play it? I can actually go into here too. So it's like a good easy start from a local perspective that you can grow into. But you're correct in that the syncing and the mobile phone app sucks. But yeah, sorry. Notion is also cited as a Obsidian alternative since it's also used for taking notes. Yeah, which I feel like it's like the wrong approach. If you want to take notes, anything works, right? It's like saying Notepad is the like when you want to take notes, right? It's like saying Notepad is the competitor to like Obsidian. It just doesn't work. Like Notepad is just like this one thing. Oh wait, here's my color. There we go. Notepad is like this. Like this comparison feels disingenuous whenever people say like it's like, oh, it's good for note taking because this is equivalent to this is equivalent to this. It's why I'm saying too, like it's fine for you to use any tool that you want, but I think it's very, very good to like understand like why you use them, and then just realize that you may not want to change, and that's fine. Because again, if the system works for you, you shouldn't change. You should actually stick with your system, and then to like this, right? Because note taking, the act of it is like you take the notes. Organizing the notes and doing it by some system to find things, like that's a whole different concern because there's multiple systems, right? Like for organizing notes, you might have Zettelkasten, which I think has its origins in like a sticky note based structure, which is like, okay. Well, Notepad, you can't organize them and you can't add pictures and like stuff. Yeah, but like, how often do people need that? How often do people actually use that stuff, right? How often do people need pictures and like stuff, right? It turns out fairly often. But what I'm trying to say is like the core of like note taking, which is like you need to jot something down very, very quickly, like just taking a note and writing something down so you remember it. That core is like fully, it's solved by all of these, right? You need to go beyond the moniker of like note taking. You're not just taking notes. This is the thing. You're not just taking notes. You're building your own knowledge graph. Building a knowledge base. Because base note taking, you can just do all of this and you'll end up in like a note hell where you have like text files everywhere, right? But then what happens when you do want to add pictures, as you say, right? Well, these actually can't, like, Notepad goes away and like stuff, right? The truth is, at some point, you need to think about it, okay, as not just note-taking, because then that's a very disingenuous comparison. It's like the whole thing of, like, I don't know why Rome is compared to, like, say, Notion, right? It's not even close to the same. When you think of it as building a knowledge base, all of this sort of goes away. Like, this goes away, and you're kind of left with, like, say, this. Discord can kind of work, but I found sometimes the search feature doesn't work very, very well, especially when you need to parse through like a lot of really old stuff. It's very hard to get context on like where it's from because there's no way to like encapsulate it. Like say if I want to search up like Road Warden here, right? I can encapsulate it and I can see like, okay, I have an idea for a Road Warden highlight video. I have an idea for like, okay, what days I streamed it on, right? I have an idea for like what this like game is, the Windy Meadow, right? I want to rename this. It's bothering me. Everything. Yeah, just do this as like everything. The digital second brain. Yeah, exactly. Like, but it's why I get so annoyed whenever like these like websites like Wikipedia and like stuff say that, oh, they're about note taking. It's like, no. The note taking part is like easy. It's easy to take notes. Very easy. Even for pictures and stuff, you can just take screenshots and just leave it on your desktop beside your like text file. Like it's very simple, right? But when you need to access it and understand it and make use of it and like build like a long-term database of like stuff, how are you going to do that? How do your tools build into that? Well, that's where you start to like differ a lot. Notion, it's good, but you can't see like links between back and forth without very heavy traversal. Like if your tree is like 2 levels deep, to go to these levels, you have to manually go there by traversing this whole path. Whereas in like Obsidian, this tree doesn't exist. In Obsidian, your tree is more like this. This links to this, which happens to link through like this, but it technically also links like this. But you can see this and you can just go straight to like here. It's like a whole different traversal method, if that makes sense. This is literally the UI for it too, because again, the graph view is it's just like this. I love that this is the first thing that I see. Anyways, all I'm saying is use a system that works for you. It's good that you know why you want to use that system. Don't be afraid to say that you just don't want to change. It's fine. But in terms of like what you saw that like doesn't work, I guarantee you that the system actually works a lot better than you think. It is a learning curve though. So again, if you don't want to learn it, that's fine. I think it's totally fine, right? But I think those critiques of Obsidian don't work, except for the backup and the syncing, as well as the mobile phone app. Those two are the most complicated bits that they charge for. There's open source ones, but you need to have technical knowledge. So again, it's a barrier for 99% of people, right? But when you get this thing to work, it works very, very well. And you know, by extension, Rome works very, 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 very well too. But in contrast, Notion works very, very well within a team-based setting because the block system and the way that it handles it. I mean, it's just a CRDT editor. CRDT being like I forget the acronym name. It's a conflict-free replicated data type editor, which is to say like if 2 people make an edit, it knows how to resolve those like edits in a way that like doesn't nuke someone else's stuff. It's what happens when 2 people work on like a Google Doc at the same time. Behind the scenes, it's a CRDT system, and Google has like a paper on like this. And that's a very good thing to have when you're in a collaborative sense. But when you're building something for yourself, these tools work very, very well, especially Rome. I haven't tried the collaboration version of Obsidian. I don't think it would work very, very well considering how messy it is. But at the same time, it's just markdown text. And I think the only time it wouldn't work is when you have to add images or like something. So that meme. Yeah. You used to have a bunch of text files and then one big text file. Yeah, it's interesting to see how like everyone has that same system because everybody starts out the same way, right? Where you want to like start making notes on like things and you get kind of like lost in the sauce. I'm not kidding you. I had 5 different desktop, like I filled up my desktop on all 3 monitors. So I collected every file, put them into a single folder, and I started again. I did it 5 times. It took me 1 night to organize it all into all of this. There's even more under here. There's a shit ton more under here. I know that this says movie ideas, but this is really video ideas. And then games. Well, games, I mean, games is games, but there's also like a game idea section somewhere. I think this is projects. Yeah, there's like a bunch of game ideas that I've been thinking about. Relatable, very relatable. Yeah, you don't even know how to do the overview in Obsidian. Control G, or if you click on the button over here, the graph view. Again, it only works if you do the like backlinking. So if I go to say what's like the July 21st, if I go over here, if I do like Road Warden and then I do I have Blue Lake Road? No, I didn't add Blue Lake Road. But if I do like the Road Warden, I can find it. So you have to manually do it, but thankfully it's only two button presses, which is very nice. 2 square brackets. Type the name of the thing that you want. Select it from the list. If I say I want the Virtual Museum of Dead Wifery, I have that. Or if I say I want a Road Warden, I have that. And then it can link back to it. Then you can see it from this like graph view. There's also another graph view, but I keep forgetting the hotkey for it. So I'll just do it manually over here. This one over here. So you can see backlinks, which is like links that link to this file, or where it leads to. So where does this file lead to? I can go towards Road Warden specifically. Plugin no longer active. The plugin that created this view has gone away. Okay, then remove it. What? Then remove it. What? Why is it there? I don't give a shit about that thing then. What? The plugin's gone. Remove it. Huh? Funny UI stuff. I don't know why they keep dead UI elements around. That's very odd. Anyways, we're gonna continue on. I need it. Anyways, back to this. Okay, media player, music player. I need a stream management console that has this plus the media player. This is what I'm trying to build up into. How do you change the button size? So did the Excalidraw thing work or like what? Yeah, I'm using it now. This is Excalidraw. This is Obsidian, but also Excalidraw. Works very, very well. Do you want to transfer from your browser Excalidraw, save it as a file, and then just drop it into this folder, and then you're good. Drop the Excalidraw file into your Vault folder, and you're good. So just do like a right click, show in System Explorer, drag the Excalidraw file into it, and then it'll just load, which is very, very good. Again, I mean, Excalidraw is an open source program, so you could technically integrate it anywhere. And Obsidian is an Electron app, so it does work. So it's the thing that I used in the browser before, right? Yeah. In fact, this is all that we did last time too, including this, the like hats. Why did I do this? Mod, this is what you did to us. Every time you come in and you post this, it's like stuck in my mind. Anyways, media player. Oh, that's way too small. We'll go like here. We'll do media player. I want to make this on stream eventually. Okay? A stream management console. Not really like a full desktop app. I just want like a very basic browser app that interacts with all of these things and makes it work, okay? Because I'm noticing some things that I need to have here. One, the media player, as I mentioned, at the end of the song, when it switches songs, listen to this. When it switches songs, you'll hear it here. See how that it has that like weird pause in between? It should be much smoother, right? I don't know why it doesn't do like a very, very smooth transition. But this ends up being like a very jilted experience when you want to listen to like a nice smooth background track that like doesn't leave like a random. Again, it's a variable amount of time in between the songs because it's OBS wasn't really made for mixing music, right? However, I also don't want to run another program because, as I said, I have too many windows open, and it's nice to have everything in like one let go. And you know, now that I can have Excalidraw within Obsidian, this becomes a lot easier too. So eventually, I want to make a music player that's also a stream management console that can also deal with the multi-stream stuff, which needs to do at least this. So the stream management console. You did notice the drawings are now in Obsidian, but I wasn't sure if that's what the extension is about. Yeah, I mean, it seems like everything is in here. I mean, that's the thing about the extension description too, though. I actually now I understand what you mean. Because the way that they describe it, it makes it almost sound like it's like a tool to like manage that stuff or manage your Excalidraw session in the browser or something. Like it doesn't really explain well that no, you can actually use it within your Obsidian now. When I try to write nice, it looks like shit. So why even bother? Stream management console. Okay, so what I want from this is all this, right? I need to do all of this. Why? Because multi-streaming has a weird problem at the moment. When I multi-stream, there's one problem that I noticed. OBS only shows the docs for a single stream service. Multi-stream. Did you hear that? Did you hear that pause? The pause as it switched to the next song. The song, by the way, same tempo, still same backing beats. It should have been a smooth transition because my playlist is actually ordered in such a way, and it's a whole mix. So the whole mix is actually done in such a way that it should be a smooth transition. But the multi-streaming thing, OBS only shows the doc for Twitch or whatever your like active services. So only shows doc. Only shows controls for active service. And you can only have one active service at a time, right? There's a plugin that I'm using right now that just sends an RTMP stream, which is a real-time media transition protocol. Real-time media protocol or something. Stream of data towards, like, say, YouTube or something, or just some random server, right? You can do it to any server that uses that protocol, and it'll just feed into it. However, what it doesn't show is things like I can't set the title for the YouTube stream. Title for YouTube. I can't see both chats. So see both chats because as much as I don't care about the YouTube chat, I also don't want somebody to come in and just start saying like slurs, right? Like I don't want it to be like an unsafe space, right? So I can't see both chats without having that loaded onto my browser. I also can't manage the like category and stuff. Hey chat, You all, you all almost make me want to say your names, but I remember not to. You thought it was for maybe like sketches or something. I don't know. You don't know what you were thinking. I mean, yeah, it's fair. It's just a very poorly explained thing. It's like the way that the plugin works is that, or the way that they described it was, do you know Excalidraw? That this is just Excalidraw in Obsidian, and it's like It feels like there should be a catch 22, but there's like not. It just works. Anyway, so you can't do this in like OBS, right? Which means that when I want to start a stream on YouTube, I have to go to YouTube, start the live stream. This live stream doesn't necessarily start until I send video to it, which is fine, but that's the only way for me to like change the title of the stream itself. I then need to do some things after the stream is done. So when the stream is done, so when the stream ends, I need to delete the VOD off of YouTube. It's not because I want to, but because it's a copyright landmine because there's no VOD track, right? So I need to delete the VOD, and I still need some way to tell people in that chat to go over to like Twitch, like consistently, right? But also when the stream starts, right? So when the stream starts, when okay, I know this is like doctor writing. Did you know, guys? Did you know that doctor writing has like a name? It's like a very specific script here. Doctor script. No, script doctor. No, no, no. It's a doctor writing. It's an actual like alphabet or like something or like an actual like writing system where the various lines that they draw, apparently a lot of them have very specific meanings. So whenever you see your like prescription and it has like terrible writing, it's because most of the time they're following like a very well-known like script system. But also because they just have no time to write things. It's a bit of a catch 22, right? It's like stenography, yeah, but like a worse form, where they just need to get like the letter shape across. But it's also because they're honestly they just have no time to write like a like a very nice note because they're busy 24/7. And no joke, the current medical system in the U.S., for instance, right, and by extension Canada, but not as bad in like Canada. In like Canada, it's like very very good compared to the U.S. in terms of like pay. But in terms of like working balance, like how many days off you get, it's bad. But the hours aren't as bad as the U.S. Um, but in the U.S., the system where they stay on for like 16 to 20 hours and like multiple shifts, uh, that was invented by a doctor that was high on cocaine. I'm not even kidding you. That doctor was 24/7 on cocaine, and that's why he was able to stay awake for like 48 hours. But he made the system that makes these doctors go on like on call, rotating residency, like multiple shifts. Like that's why they can't really write things well. There's still a lot of doctors who write those by hand. Yes, I found like a bunch. Usually in family clinics. When I used to work with them. Oh god, I actually can't talk about this. I can't talk about it because it'll probably dox me. There's very little people who do what I do in like Canada. I can give an idea of like how they work. In clinics, yes, because they don't really have the money for like very very crazy systems, right? Smaller clinics especially because your first time doctor coming out of coming out of like the whole program, the 10-year cycle, they're gonna open up their own clinic and they don't really have the money to do things. So they just buy a small place and they build it up. In a weird way, doctors are one of the only roles where if you want to be a family doctor, for instance, you either have to join a clinic, become like a partner in it, in a sense, or you have to start your own clinic and be your own business owner. Like there's no other in between. This is in contrast to every other career out there where you can like join a company and slowly build up, right? It's not what hospitals are made for. Hospitals are made to be like a company for doctors to gain experience before they strike out on their own. But the money that you get from admin and the cut and like the various different working conditions don't really work out very well. And the space you get a lot of technology in there that helps you. Like in America, they use the Epic system. I can't say what it is in Canada because I forget the name of it. And those tools will write things out for you. Like you can print out the prescription and like go for it, right? But otherwise, no, you're kind of boned. Also, because a lot of prescriptions are kind of like offhand, if that makes sense. Doctors will just go and they'll be like, okay, like I think you have this condition, and they'll just write you a prescription like right on the spot, and they'll enter it into the system after. Because if you've ever used these medical systems, it makes you want to die inside. I hate these systems with a passion. And actually, the CrowdStroke incident that happened 2 days ago took down most of these medical systems. So you end up in a situation where these systems have a UI that's made for like nobody. Like these UIs are made for like nobody at all. But people get used to it, and then they change the UI to something more quote unquote modern, which is worse. Then it's like, okay, like why does this even work like this? To the point where if you need to do something like very speedily, if you just want to get something done immediately, you write the prescription down immediately, you make a note for it, and then they enter in the information afterwards into the system. And then it's good to go. The only time that they actually do it beforehand is when they need to check and make sure that, it's not going to conflict with you. But your family doctor knows you. They know what you're allergic to. They know what's going on. At least in the States and like Canada, the system of the family doctor is they have your whole history. They remember you, and they've already looked through your file before they go to see you in your like waiting room. It's why whenever you see your family doctor walk in, they either have their file like folder and then they just leave it on the like thing as a marker of I'm currently talking to this person, but also because they were looking through all of your files, so they know what's like wrong with you all already. They know any problems with like mixing medication. Very often you'll only see them looking things up on a machine if they need to confirm if it'll work with some new thing, right? So it's why the paper thing is still exists, because it's a very convenient way of doing things immediately on the spot without having to interface with a shitty broken system. Which is weird too, because again, this system has believers on both sides. There's a side that loves the old. I'm not even kidding you. Terminal-based entry system, like an old computer terminal. These systems are so old that it's like an old computer terminal, like this, that has a built-in keyboard. Okay, this guy, he just looks like a sussy among us, but I don't. I'm not an artist. I'm actually trying to learn art right now, really, really painfully. But it's like a terminal system like this, okay? And there's a bunch of keys and like stuff that you have to like press in and like type and stuff, okay? And there's like a bunch of text and stuff. This was the original version, and then they moved on to like a more modern UI, which is like every other website out there. So there's people on both sides, but either way, the system always sucks. So just know that these things are awful. That's why paper stuff is still in like high demand, because it gets in the way of health. It honestly gets in the way of saving people. It's good in the long run because you build a deeper history, and because if you have like a knowledge base and a knowledge graph of every patient that any doctor can like access, theoretically, even if you have to go to a different hospital to get like care, that other hospital can take care of you just as your normal doctor would, and you won't die because they won't know not to prescribe you something. It's just, it gets in the way in the moment. And in the moments, for many doctors, it's, you really don't have much time, right? Emergencies, you have like no time. But even for like a check-in, right? You really want to get things done as fast as you can, because the more that you wait, the more that larger problems can sort of snowball, right? Even if you don't know what it is yet, if you have enough like cause to be like, hey, you know what, I want you to go get these things checked out and to take this before, to like get better, it gets people back to work faster. It gets people like more healthy faster. Like there's a whole bunch of downstream effects. So speed is typically the name of the game as well as quality. It's that balancing act. It's why the iron triangle for medical care I found is like speed, quality, or history. You only get two of the three. You either get, if you don't get history, then you lose speed or like quality, stuff like that. It's why they tend to like offload it. So they'll do speed plus quality first, and then they'll do history after. Speed, quality. I'm doing doctor script to really sell this, right? And then history. Some pharmacist is gonna look at this and then be like, wow. He wrote history so perfectly. Pharmacists are the only people who can decode like data scripts. Aroused Bussy gamers, no, ABGs are this. ABG. Is this like an image for like an ABG? I don't know. Reddit ABG is like a. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, maybe don't search that. ABGs are Asian baby girls, which is like it's a weird term. But ABGs are like it's like the term for like Asian women who are seen as very attractive, who like do a bunch of makeup and like stuff. The reason today's stream is titled that is because ABG Stay Away is because we were going to play like one of those Asian FMV dating sims, but my wife is on a trip and she's going to miss it, and she liked the other stream. So I'm gonna wait until she comes back. But that's what it means. So Asian baby girls. Anyway, so back to this. When the stream starts for the YouTube live stream, I also need to pin a message telling people to come to Twitch. Pin message to come to Twitch. That is true Dr. Strit, okay? And that to me is a very important step because then it slowly funnels people towards here. Hopefully you don't feel shy about talking to chat. Every chat member is important. Every chat member is appreciated. Can I read it? No, I could actually forgot. Ask me in 10 minutes. Ask me to set a timer. Ask me in 10 minutes to come back to this and see if I can read it. Okay? I guarantee you I won't be able to. When stream starts, pin message. When stream ends, I have to delete the VOD because of the copyright. So like this is the stuff that I need to do now, and then as it gets more and more complicated, I may have to do more. There's also another thing where during stream, so my wife likes to watch me romancing other women. only in the game, chat. Only in the game. During the stream, as we switch games, I also need to update the game category, which I don't do on YouTube at the moment, right? This means that if you have to watch to know what game I'm playing, or you wait for the VODs to be uploaded. Which, by the way, I think we hit some magical view counts on must have watched yesterday's stream. I think we hit some magical view counts where the videos that I upload to YouTube as like VODs, they upload very, very quickly and they process very, very quickly now. I mean, the upload was always the same, but like, sorry, what I mean specifically is that the processing is much, much faster. And there's a lot less like hiccups in like waiting for things to like happen. So they do the copyright checks very, very quickly. The processing happens basically immediately, even for a very, very large file. It's so much better. That's why you get VODs like instantly now. It's so much better. I love being influential. I love being an influencer. If you ever call me if you call me an influencer, I'm going to ban you. So yeah, all of these I need to do during multi-streaming. If I don't do it, it's gonna keep saying the same thing over and like over and over. And that's just for YouTube, okay? I want to see if I can expand it to other platforms as well. Because I made a new TikTok account. I haven't linked it yet. Because I'm technically evading a ban. And so I'm slowly building up history on the TikTok account to make it like good, right? And then over time, I'm gonna be able to like link back to it. But the TikTok account, even on Twitter, I found out Twitter can like you can like tell people that you can like you stream on like Twitter to like some extent. So I was like this is just for YouTube, but imagine for Twitter and for TikTok and stuff like that. It's like how do I keep doing this? How do I draw people to that place? And how do I manage it all in one space, right? Well, that's gonna be hard because I can only see one chat at a time on OBS. So I need to do it all from the stream management console. That's why I need to build it all in. So that's why this console is gonna be everything all in one. You have to influence to be called one. I think I influenced all of you, right? I made you buy games. I made you commit crimes. It's pretty good, especially when you join my Discord. First question is, have you committed a crime? That must have made some of you commit a crime. Sure, stick thing influencer. Sure thing influencer. There we go. That stream influenced a lot of people. Yeah, yesterday's stream influenced a bunch of things. What did we do yesterday? Oh yeah, it was the cuckold stream. It was a cuckolding stream. Yeah, I know now. Yeah, yeah, that was a good stream. It's my favorite. It was the cuckolding stream. Anyways, this console, I want this to just be a web page. Okay, so it's just gonna be a web page. And it's going to let me do all of this because there's APIs for all of these services. On YouTube, there's APIs for all of these functions. So there's going to be different fields. What I want to do is I can have like a text box here for like say the stream title. I don't know. This is a very rough draft. I don't really care about the design. Not that I don't care about. Okay, if you're a graphic designer, look away. This is like murder. This is murder for your eyes. Okay. You have to look away now if you want to preserve your sanity, because this is going to look disgusting to you. My eyes, my God, my eyes. Okay, so this is like the stream console. Okay, this is the stream console. Okay, I want a text box where I can enter the title once, and it will update on every single platform. So I can be like, this is the title of the stream, and then this will propagate down to YouTube, Twitch, plus whatever, right? So this will go to like Twitch's API, YouTube's API, etc. API. If I do on more streams, right? Same with the game category and stuff like that, and as well as other things like. And then I'll have like a various chat boxes. I don't know if I want them all in one because that would be confusing. I think a separated chat box for each one would be nice. So you might have like the chats. So let's see, the chads. So we'll have a section for the chads, right? And it'll be like, okay, like the Twitch chat, the YouTube chat, you know what I mean? What the fuck? Why did they do this? Where did this come from? Where did this come from? What is this? What the fuck? I've never seen that before. That's such a useless feature. A URL leaked. Probably a URL. Yeah. Oh no, I leaked my Wikipedia pages. No. So this might be like Twitch chat over here. Twitch. Well, not chads. If I could name you beta males, it'd be good. But I think it's beta chat. Well, it's not just males here. It's actually 50-50. Wikipedia has a dark mode. I don't believe you. We're gonna go Wikipedia. Should I do this live? Let's do it live. I like living on the seat of my. Imagine I click a random article and it gives us the article on like Gooning or like something. So where's the random article? Random. How do you get like a random article? Wikipedia. Random article. Okay, you guys ready for this? Will I get banned? Random. Special random. We have Bellicis II, was the ruler of Archimid Syria as the satrap of Abir Nari from 358 to 338 BCE. Oh my god, there's dark mode. Oh my god. Oh. 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 My eyes. Anyways, let's go random again. ATP Tour was the global elite men's professional tennis circuit. Huh. Hey, Federer! That's actually mind-blowing. Like, I actually had no clue that existed. Thank you for showing us. Archimid Syria pronunciation. Totally flawless. Totally flawless. Everyone's like, you butchered it! What are you doing? You butchered our language! It's like, sorry guys, I'm not really good at this. And if I butchered it, I'm sorry. You'll take a VIP for that one. Alright, fine. You get a VIP for showing us some dark mode. If you show us a really cool feature, you get a VIP. Wait, where is that button? Don't tell them. This is their rite of passage. Their rite of passage is they must find it. Wait, how many VIPs can I have? Isn't there like a limit to VIPs? Okay, so chat member, your role is now banned. I'm just kidding. Here, you get a VIP for 1 day because you gave us the dark mode. Your role is now banned. Thanks for showing up, guys. Hoggers. Anyway, so this is what I want, okay? You get the stream title. So you have like the stream update section. I guess these should be two different pages, really. How often do I do this, right? The update section should be different from the live dashboard. The live dashboard should be its own view of like a bunch of like text and like stuff, which is more important, I think. I got a random text again. I'm scared to open it. Versus like this stuff where it's like live. Okay, so this is there's actually two different views. Copy, paste. There we go. So again, it's gonna be like a bunch of web pages. So it's just gonna be open in my browser. It's just gonna be combined with my browser, but that's fine because it has to be somewhere, and it's easier to make a web page locally running in a local server than it is to do anything else. Oh fuck, has to run in a local server. Oh fuck, I have to do OAuth. Oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I really hate dealing with OAuth. It's just too much. Anyway, so this is the live. So this is like the stream update. So this is like the stream info page. Okay. Remember, if you this is a what is it, graphic? Mom, it's blah blah blah. Are any of you epileptic? No, right? It's not flashing. Is it only flashing colors? Epileptic? Static colors. Shit. Okay, well, patterns of colors too. Okay, well, I don't want to kill you. I just want to make it look like shit. I don't want to kill you. I just want to make it look like shit. Perfect. This is the stream update. This is the stream info panel. Okay, so this is the info panel. This lets me update things like the title, the game category, right? The game, with its own little text box, and like etc. Like this updates everything. And then maybe there's like tabs for each like section. I don't know. So it's like info versus like live. I don't know. We just graphic design is my passion. Graphic design is my passion. And so now we're inside the like live panel. Where's the info? I don't know how to do this. Okay, I'm not good at this chat. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm not a designer. Okay, I can code this. Hey, do you need a programmer? Well, listen, I'm the programmer guy. If you bring the ideas and the design, I can make it for you. Info. And then what's like a third section? I need a third section to really nail. Oh no, live should just be this. And then like I'll have like a media section. So like there's various chats, and the media will be on this too. This needs to be visible off of one page. So max whatever resolution my monitor is, not your monitor. And this way I can, churn on or off media. And this will all be local. So this has to be running locally on my machine. So it might be like, I don't know, like localhost 8080, which is like the usual testing URL, 8080. Because I need OAuth and I need to have a. I mean, I do have a VM. Sorry, not a VM, a VPS, but. Well, this will remind me what I need to do later. That's important for later. But that's what I want to do. Okay, so I get the chats down here, so I can moderate them. I then get like the media player, so I can get like say the music and like stuff. And oh, I even might even use like a full media player section because sometimes I play videos on stream. No, that's stupid. That's stupid. But it would be nice to have a media player that automatically applies gain. Because can you analyze? I think there was a research paper that came out a while back in like 10 years ago where they figured out a very efficient method to analyze a video's waveforms and then apply non-destructive volume changes to it in a way that you could lower the volume pre or like before you even like load the file to like play it just from the video information alone. Um, and then I think because what's annoying is when I want to play something like this, right? I'm just gonna play it. Say I want to play something like this. I'm just gonna choose something simple, right? Something basic, like this. The volume on this is very, very different from say this, or like say I don't know, this, or like this. Or like this. All the volume is completely off. So it'd be nice to be able to get everything to the same peak, if that makes sense. Doesn't compressor do it? I wanted to use a compressor, but I don't know how to do a compressor that lowers everything without compressing it. Like, yeah, because it fucks up the like sound. Because a compressor, what it does is it'll there's a threshold where it works, right? So what it does is this like low portion of the volume stays the same, but the high portion gets pushed down to like here. Depending on your threshold, it might get pushed down to like here, right? What I don't want to do is lower the dynamic range. I want to keep the range the same, but I want to make it so that the peak never goes across like a certain value, which you can't do with the limiter either. Basically, I want to bring the entire range downwards in decibel to keep the peak below like say I don't know like -8, so I can talk over it too. But I still have that dynamic range of like the quiet stuff versus like loud stuff. I don't want to compress it though. Too many artifacts. It sounds like it's more squished instead of like actually sounding like lower. It just sounds squished. So these quiet parts seem awfully loud for some reason. It just feels weird. And the limiter would just chop things off at the very, very top end, which would leave you with like nothing. A limiter would just do this, and you'd be left with only this bottom section here. Which doesn't feel very good either, because then it's like, it's also kind of messed up too. So I don't know any VST plugin. If you know one that does what I want to do here, which is keeps everything low, please let me know, because then I can skip the media player portion. But then, sorry, I can skip the video player portion of this. But let's just say maybe there's like a video player portion of it, which would be handy. But this is the key part. The music player needs to do this, okay? So the media player needs to do this. It's very important that it does this. It has to do this load so that there's no gap in between the tracks. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna build this at some point on stream. I can't build all of it, obviously. There's a you saw what? You didn't see it tonight. There's a section of this that I can't build, which is the authentication section, okay? The authentication section needs to be a whole different section somewhere, and it needs to give me a countdown because I'm gonna press it by accident, forgetting what it does. So maybe instead of this, it's like authentication, so like auth plus warning, okay? And then it'll be like a modal of like stop. What are you doing? You horny dog, you. No, I'm not horny. I'm just, it's just nothing happened, chat. Nothing happened. So let's say you're in the auth section. I know the positioning of these tabs keeps changing. It's just for the design, chat. It's just for the design. Graphic design is my passion. Live, okay? I'm gonna get like a modal saying, stop right there, criminal scum. Oblivion Guard. Perfect. So he'll be like, stop right there, criminal scum, and then he'll like tell me to like hide this. Or something. Stop. Warning. And it's like a, auth warning. And then as you go in, this is where I can do all the OAuth stuff. I can't program this part live on stream, because this would actually require me to leak details of what the server is, which will eventually be leaked. But I can assign different IPs. There's a whole different thing that I'm setting up. I can assign a bunch of different I have a couple servers, and then I got to do all this other stuff like OAuth, and you'll see stream information and like stuff. So this will have to be sanitized. But this I think is a good flow for this management console. I think. Maybe search for sound compensator or auto gain. Maybe something like that can do it. Every time I tried auto gain, I didn't understand how it works, because I have a plugin that like does compression with auto gain. But whenever I did auto gain, it sounded like this. No matter what I did, it sounded just like this. So what ended up happening is that the auto gain just brings this whole bottom section up. At least in my experience, and I don't know if I'm using it correctly. So what it would do is when it auto gains, it just brings this whole section up, to make it even like more compressed. In a way, it's like it felt more like an expander than an auto gain, but I don't know if that actually works properly. I'll look into that though. Maybe I'll look into that. So instead of that, we can do like sound compensator. Because either way, there has to be a limit to it, but I want to do it in a non-destructive way so it doesn't sound crunchy. Sound compensator. What are you compensating for, chat? Anyways, I think that's a good system, right, chat? I think that's a good system. Graphic design is my passion. Anyways, welcome. Thank you for joining the talk on what I'm going to make. We're going to figure this out eventually soon. I can program most of this on stream, these two parts, because it's very easy to. This final part I can't, but when we do program these two parts, we're doing it live on stream because it is important to the stream stuff. Thank you for telling me about the Obsidian plugin as well. You are not going to get banned for it today. Lucky you. I think again, user brings the sound to the desired gain, but maybe there are some that can bring it more intelligently or like something. Well, that's the thing, right? I don't want to bring it to the desired gain. I don't want to gain it up. And I think the way it worked, at least the ones that I found, were only to bring it up. I want to bring it like down as a whole versus just down in like sections. But the one that I found was literally like it only brings up that portion up that's untouched by the compressor, in order to like normalize the volume. So it's like it felt like your range as a whole was much lower. Because right now, I'm on auto gain. So If I talk very quietly in a very normal voice, I'm actually very, very loud. But if I talk in a very loud voice, like if I scream like this, it actually brings it down very nicely. And it's very hard to figure out. TBH. Anyways, we're going to move on. Because as fun as it is to do architecture stuff, my brain also hurts. I also want to show you this. What I really wanted to show you was this cooler project here. Don't worry, as far as I know, it's not Zorin. This is safe for work at some places. I know what to click on to not encounter the Zorin, I think. So, I'll save this Mayday thing for next time. It's the other thing that I want to show you guys. So, I've been thinking a lot about how to do stories. I mean, writing is something that I've done for my whole life. But one of the hardest things about writing is this concept of building a lore like appropriately, right? It's why I have, for instance, sorry. It's why I've showed this program before on stream, and why I've talked about this like concept before of having a tool that helps you build like a whole lore web for whatever you're reading. Is the Japanese speech from your end? I don't hear any Japanese. Do you, chat? I don't know. There's no Japanese at all. What? Guys, I'm speaking English. And the reason why I like this tool so much is because it does kind of what I want it to like do. When you have a bunch of different plot points, right? Say you're writing, Game of Thrones, right? Imagine you need to keep track of what happens to Daenerys Targaryen, right? Or Targaryen. I don't know what her name is. But your books are like 3 books long, and you're writing your final book, and you need to somehow close off all these plot lines that you started, right? Which is like frustrating because it's like, how do you remember all of it in your head? Well, you can't. The truth is, we can only remember so many things, right? A tool like this helps keep it all together. And it's this thing that I struggle with my writing stuff as well. To where the stuff that I write is like multiple pages long, like 20, 30, 40 pages just to explain certain things. These people went even further. So this is a multi-author project, aka multiple people have worked on this. It is a full lore background for a science fiction universe. An entire, not just a storyline, but almost the entire setting for a science fiction universe, a world, like an actual life, a science fiction life. This it's similar to what you get in Cyberpunk. How there's so much like background stuff in like Cyberpunk where like, okay, well, like you're in Night City, sure, but like what is Night City? Well, guess what? It's whatever the place was that was bombed, and then they took over, and then like Mr. Knight or like something took over. I forget his like name. Took over the like city to like become like dude, right? It's basically that, but on a much larger scale. To the point where when I look at this, it reminds me a lot of H.P. Lovecraft stuff. So H.P. Lovecraft stuff is very, very similar in the sense of like, it's a bunch of lore that people can just play with. It's a universe that's being built, a whole life separate from our own that has these beings in it that exert this level of influence over, the mortal world. This is similar in that regard, where it's a bit of an open space where you can actually use this in your own pieces of writing, so that you can actually participate in it. There's a forum for it. There's like there's a Facebook. There's a Tumblr. You guys remember Tumblr? And then there's a bunch of material about it in terms of not only the writing but also the artwork. So this is a fully featured world that's just out there that has a bunch of stuff. So for instance, we can see exobiology. Is this safe for work? Yeah. And it'll show you what the aliens look like. This is a project called Orion's Arm. It is such a fascinating project because it's almost again, it's kind of what you want from projects like this that try to build their own sci-fi universe and where they try to explain all the elements in it and like what's going on. It reminds me a lot of Mass Effect if the lore was more built out and a lot more fleshed out. And it wasn't just built for the game, but also for an entire universe of like art to be made. Because not only does it explain, like what these things are and like how they sort of move and stuff, it explains the evolution, the early history of all of them, their various different cultures, like how they operate, what their body mechanics are, where they came from, what conflicts they've like been in. Shows how many people there are within this like whole space, where you can find them, what different events they've been through, what the singularity level is, which is like how I guess like advanced they are. And it goes through all these other things like, okay, well, what is the 4-rad scale? What is the dimming? What is the gods list? What is trans-singularity power and the Archilect in existence? Like, well, what does this all mean? It's such a fascinating website to go through because there's so much information on here. Let's go to the gods list. The gods list is a massive database that has been in operation ever since the later early interstellar period, age of emergence. And the thing that's interesting is that you'll see this reference in various places, and the way that they reference it is exactly what has been written here. So they take great pains to make everything consistent, which is usually the hardest part of writing very, very deep lore about things, is keeping things consistent. You'll see this in games that we've played previously, where it almost feels like there's a retcon point or something that they forgot. But you'll also see it in like books that you read. There's a lot of points that kind of just appear and then disappear. Things just change in between various books because it's very hard to keep it going. There's a good, easy example to see this in, actually. A webtoon called Tower of God. The first episode of Tower of God sets up this like mystery, okay? I think for the first like 20 chapters, it's like pretty consistent, and then they change everything. And then it's like a retcon in the middle of like nowhere. And it's like, huh? Like, why? The reason being is because as a story evolves, you kind of have a different idea of how you want to take it. But also, as the story gets larger and larger and larger, you almost forget what's going on. Another one that's very similar in that regard is God of High School. I find God of High School to be a very fascinating case because God of High School, it feels like they lost what they were thinking of doing, but also they evolved it in a way that was much more entertaining in a very different way. It just also made it very difficult for them to, or for you to parse what was going on, and because it felt like various storylines were disjointed from each other. So, for instance, spoilers for God of High School. Well, not really spoilers. I won't say spoilers actually. There'll be no spoilers. No spoilers. When things change in terms of gravity, and things change in terms of like what the motivations of the characters are, you notice it very immediately. That it feels like a 180 out of nowhere. And only a handful of them are actually done very, very well. Only a handful of them are explained very, very well. Most of the time, it feels like a plot point that they had at the beginning of the webtoon that they simply wanted to keep going. Otherwise, they don't really know what they're doing, and they just wanted to keep it go. Like they just wanted to fit it in, but they didn't have a plan to like segue into it. So they just do it really fast. It just happens, and then it stops. And it's like, okay, like this like plot point came out of nowhere, hit you in the face, and then it's like over all of a sudden. What is this song? Give me back my hardcore drum bass. And you see this happen a lot in various stories because it's so hard to keep a good track of what you're doing. I mean, you hear it in the way that I talk. I get lost in the sauce when I'm talking about things. It's very hard to remember details, even just talking about something in the moment. So imagine trying to do that for a piece of writing over like how many years, right? Over how many, chapters and like stuff. Webtoons especially fall victim to this because they're like a serialized format where it's like, oh, you finish one chapter and then you start work on like next one, and you have like a general story outline and you fill in the like details as you go. It's very similar to like manga, where the storyline is just kind of built up as you go. In a weird way, you can see this actually also in Dragon Ball Z. I don't care about spoilers. This is a very old show. Dragon Ball Z, the show has a very different level of pacing, story elements being introduced, and quality. Before the Boo arc and after the Boo arc. When Boo comes on and they beat Boo, it felt like the logical end, and then they just kept on going, and then it kind of felt like it was going down some interesting routes, like with like Brawly and stuff, but like it felt strange, like it felt like they were just making things up as they went. Whereas everything up until the Boo arc felt like an entire continuum. If you go back even further, SpongeBob, up until the Super Bowl episode, was very, very consistent about what the story it was trying to tell, and it had a consistent story arc for all the characters in it, despite the fact that it felt like almost like a disjointed set of episodes. You saw a level of like change and like growth and like character building across the episodes up until the Super Bowl. After that, it became more of like a slice of life cartoon, where every single day was a new thing for the whole crew, right? You see it immediately. It's a very huge drop off. That's what happens when you have a detailed story versus when you have to serialize on the go to fulfill some contractual obligation, for instance, which is usually what webtoons, manga, and TV shows have to like do if they get big. So what they're trying to do with this project is keep this entire storyline consistent. And there's a lot. For instance, there's a link to AI gods. Let's show the AI gods. So you have the Archelites, the Archai, the AI gods. You can see what their origin is, their category. There's a bunch of all this artwork is like being like again made by multiple people. There's like it feels like there are hundreds of like art of like authors for like all of this. They detail every single thing. There's even pages on like single figures who live for like 2 days in like the like lore and then they like die for some reason. But there's like whole pages like detailing everything about them too. And it's like it's fascinating. I've only barely touched the surface of this going through random pages, right? But I think you should check this out, okay? I'm gonna link it in the chat. It's orionsarm.com. Orionsarm.com. If you're watching anywhere else, if you're listening and you just want to you hear it on your phone or something, orionsarm.com. It's not safe for work sections. Like I've seen titty. That scares some of you. That scares some of you. So be warned if you're afraid of titty, don't look at this. But here, look, strange characters. If I go too far down, there's like a titty somewhere. You sort of see like I don't know various settings. There's like hard science. Like there's everything. It's so fascinating. So cool. 10,000 years of historical development. So there's a scrollable timeline here, which I found very, very interesting too. And you can see every single event that they built in this sci-fi universe for 10,000 virtual years. And they've talked about all of it. To me, this is a huge achievement. Again, as I said, it feels like what H.P. Lovecraft is to authors today, writing cosmic horror, writing this idea of like the unknown that you cannot possibly understand. But for a sci-fi universe, because look, starts here, agricultural age, pre-space flight, old Earth goes all the way through. This is the vent for basically every single year, and the authors keep going. And there's so many discussions about how to keep this consistent, how to fit it in with like everything. It is so cool, so cool, and I can't wait to see how this project continues to evolve. And I really want to see what they're gonna do with this because again, this is a project made to build a lore for projects. Again, it's a bit like H.P. Lovecraft. People want to make these things, and then but they specifically make this because they want other people to use this stuff within the terms and the kind of additions in order to build derivative stuff, right? So I think they're making a game. Was one of the things that they mentioned. They have a couple of books out by the primary authors. I'm curious to see if this will ever pick up. But even if it doesn't, I just want you to like check it out because I think this is a very cool project. Again, keeping track of your entire storyline is very, very hard when you think about like what you have to do. But the more lore there is, it feels like it gives substance because you need to be aware of and you need to sort of like fit everything together. It doesn't feel as so haphazard as like most people's fan fiction. It feels like everything has a place in this world, and the quality obviously varies, but I think it does a very good job. You also have an illustrated primer, which I think is great. Should go through this. For instance, we used to be mermaids. I'm just kidding. This is just weird mermaid people. It's very, very cool. Very, very cool. It's massive. It's very, very massive. Yeah, sometimes you think authors of serialized stuff can have a rough outline of everything that's going to happen up until the end, but often they make it as they go. And even if there was an outline, it can change. Exactly, yeah. For the serialized stuff, it has to be very, very flexible because it's. I know I left you on the cliffhanger because I didn't drink any water. Wait, I need to drink my coffee. Have you guys noticed I talk nonstop for like hours? Jesus. But yeah, it's because serialization. The reason why they want to keep it flexible is because of money. It's not a bad thing too. Money isn't like a bad thing. It's how you use it that really matters. But the thing about these artists is that like you don't really get paid much anyways doing like manga and like stuff. So when your manga gets very, very popular, say like Naruto, and you need to keep it going, then you kind of want to keep it going because otherwise you're gonna lose your massive money bag. Sometimes the story goes on for so long that whatever idea that they had before also just isn't gonna work anymore, or they fall out of love with the idea, right? Or they realize that the idea could be done better, so they sort of like retrofit it as they go on, and that's fine too. Both reasons are fine, but most of the time I've seen it as like they kind of just want to make money because it's like, do you really want to drop a hot series? Well, no, you want to keep on going, so can keep milking it for as long as you can. Naruto felt like had elements of this where the ending felt very almost disjointed compared to everything else. Like the ending of Naruto felt like a thing that they just made up just to get it like done. Um, Especially with the Moon movie. The Moon. I remember talking to my friend. She's like my childhood friend too. This like other childhood friend. And she was like, "Yeah, I like watched it. It's really good." And I was like, "Ooh," but she was like, "It has absolutely no reason to be in it though, because it's a whole different storyline. Because the moon is like falling." I'm like, "Okay, this is fucking weird. I guess it makes sense." Is my throat okay after streaming? By the way, that's very parasocial of you, chat. You do that again, you're gonna get banned. I'm just kidding. Sucking so many cocks can be wearing out after. Yeah, you're right. But you know what? You would think sucking cocks would like lubricate, right? But no, it's nobody ever finishes. People say I use too much teeth or like something. But yeah, my throat's actually fine after streaming. It's just in the moment because I don't strain my voice too much. I've gotten better at it. It's why today you hear me so quietly and why I boost my mic so high. It's why you hear stuff like this. Those mouth noises. The reason why you hear those mouth noises is because I'm actually talking very very quietly. The when I strain my voice, I go a bit higher pitch because I have to like project volume. But when I don't strain my voice and I keep it very very low key and it's very very soft on my voice, I sound kind of like this. I can go even softer, but it makes it very very hard to hear because my bass is too high. I actually do. I have to pitch my voice up because the bass is like too high. If I talk, if I talk in my normal talking voice like this, where it's like a very quiet sort of private conversation, it's very easy on my voice, but it's very hard for you to like hear as well because it's very very low, and so I have to like pitch it up because the bass kind of gets in the way. But yeah, it's mostly fine because I'm very careful about how I treat my voice. I've had years of practice with like singing to understand the various techniques to take care of it, so I know when I strain it versus I don't. And there's a very specific technique where you don't modulate your cords very much, nor your throat. Where you primarily just push air through it. So my problem is never like strain. My problem is oxygen. I'm not even kidding you, Chet. Sometimes I run out of oxygen. Sometimes when I talk, I feel myself getting lightheaded because I'm like, oh god, I'm using all my oxygen to like say this one sentence, this like one thought. You know that whole rant about somebody's ideas of obsidian? All right, that whole rant. I think I almost passed out because I was like, I gotta tell this. Like, I had to flame you, and boy, oh boy, does it take a lot to flame you, chat. Other than that, though, yeah, it's fine. Actually, my voice is always fine, so never worry about me because that's weird. It's parasocial. Anyways, thank you for going down that interesting rabbit hole. Again, check out Orion's Arm if you want to check that whole project out. I think it's fascinating. It's because again, H.P. Lovecraft's universe kind of grew very organically, and in a weird way, I'm gonna say it here. It's a bit like collabing and streaming, right? You get shared lore between streamers, like say Iron Mouse and CDocVA, when they collab very often. Just like when you have H.P. Lovecraft, he was collabing with a shit ton of like authors, so it makes sense why it's so widespread. What does modulating vocal folds mean? Like, here, try this. Don't make a sound, just push air through your throat. That's like the baseline of like what it is to like not even use your throat at all. Your thoracic is just a vessel to bring in air and bring out air into your lungs. Now talk as quietly as you can, as softly as you can. And then shout! Shout as hard as you can! And feel what happens when you shout! Do you feel that strain, that tension? And then now do a very, growly voice. Growl with your throat. Really growl with it. Do you feel that like shakiness? When you talk in that very soft tone, when you talk in that very soft, quiet, like a quiet like voice, that's what I mean by like your voice isn't a mostly stable but not stressed out state. It's just stretching and like relaxing to do your various tones. Like if you want to go a bit more high pitched, it stretches a bit more compared to when you want to go a bit lower. It starts to compress more, right? Like it's, but you're not like actually modulating it. Like you're not shaking it. You're not doing like a shitty vibrato, like ah, you know what I mean? Like it's a very different way of using your like voice that like doesn't really hurt. Even then, that was like a decent vibrato. A good vibrato actually puts very little strain on your throats. Going into whistle tone, for instance, really really hurts, right? So it really depends on how you like strain it. But there's a difference between just like moving it around and like stretching it versus like manipulating it to like get noises, if that makes sense. It's why when I do voices, I'm very careful to be a two voice Andy. It's why I'm a two voice Andy. Because I could be like this. BRB, I think my car alarm went off. So yeah, that's what I mean by like the modulation. There's like various different ways. When I do that, I immediately feel the strain, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop, right? When I'm talking and I just go up like in terms of like excitement, it's very easy too. Because I can bring myself down too. It's very, very simple. I'm gonna drink some water now as I get ready for the game. Okay? Because that's all we want to talk about today, and I want to see my session for today. Oh, sorry, not the game. I have something to show you actually. I also have a song. Sorry, I forgot to actually prepare this. This song. No, I'll play the song afterwards. I want to ruin the song for this. Actually, no, I can't play the song. That's a song for a different game. Sorry. I was gonna play Super Shy for the FMV dating sim. That's a whole different game. We're gonna skip all the songs. We're gonna do everything completely wrong because I didn't prepare any songs. Some days you get songs, right? Some days I give you like a playlist and I give you like a breakdown of what I'm thinking of. Other days I'm like, fuck you, go find your own songs, right? These are my songs, right? Listen to some drum and bass. It's like trance. Give me a moment to set things up for the 8800 Blue Lick Road exploration, which, by the way, may have adult content, but I think I can avoid the room. If I can't avoid the room, this stream dies forever and I get banned. But I've seen other people stream this, so it should be fine. We're gonna see if we can make it. Okay, I'm gonna see if this works. Let's see if I get banned today, chat. Let's see if I get banned. Give me a moment to set things up. Oh, streamer, it's a win-win situation. You get banned and we're free. I can't see a problem with that. What's a good like reading costume here? What's a good like glass? Pink sunglasses? We could do. I don't want sunglasses though. Pink heart sunglasses. What? Oh, that's a live 2D thing. Never mind. I can't use that. Maybe we just do this. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. Right there. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Let's go. We're in. All right, chat. Time to get snuggled in, okay? Getting cozied up. Get all snuggled up and cozied up. We're going to do some reading games. It's going to be a very boring time if you're not into reading games. But my God, is it the best part. Are you late for Asian woman? No, sorry. That's not happening yet. It's going to happen in a future stream, chat. Sorry, brother. I know you wanted to see it, but that one will happen at a stream. My wife is currently on vacation, and she's gonna miss it. So I want to make sure that she sees it, because she liked it the last couple of times, and I know that's one of her more like fun segments to like watch. So we're gonna do it when she's back on Thursday or Friday. I don't know when. Anyways, give me a moment to set up some Road Warden. We're actually doing some reading games today, some very boring ones, some Road Warden. So again. The usual spiel with Road Warden is if you want to go to bed, this is your time. Put this on and then fall asleep, and you're good to go. Then you're very early. That's a good point. You are technically very early. The music will also leave because this game has a banging soundtrack. This is honestly a very, very good experience. So hope you enjoy this one. And that's it for me, chat. Again, sorry for the late start today. I thought we were gonna play something else, but my wife went on a trip early, so we are not going to be playing it until she's back because she really enjoyed the last session. So I'm going to be busy eating, taking care of myself. That sounds wrong, but just busy in general, just sort of like living my life. Tomorrow will be a stream at the normal time, 5 p.m. UTC. We'll be back with some more until then. I know it's crazy doing Nether game after Nether game, but I think that I can handle it. The day after, I want to do some Kenshi, and as well as some of the fun stuff that I found. So if you enjoyed today's little fun session of 8800 Blue Lick Road, that exploration, be sure to keep an eye on the VOD channel where you can see it in full if you missed it. But also be sure that you come back to the channel because there'll be more stuff as well. Again, please don't sub. I'm a programmer. My life is good. Just live your life. And if you enjoy the content, then you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, you can fuck off. I know. No, I'm just kidding. I do appreciate it. So thank you for the stream. No, thank you, chat, for showing up. All of you. across the entire day. I know that for many of you, because of time zones, it gets hard for you to like join. So I'm aware of that, and I still do appreciate it. So have a good night, everyone. Sleep tight. I'm out of here. I'm getting out of here. You'll never see me again, at least until tomorrow. In the meantime, please look at the Happy Hippo, because we actually have proof now that the Happy Hippo is absolutely not what you expect. Can you imagine? Can you believe that we found out that the Happy Hippo fell victim to the SpongeBob thing, and that it's like this? It's this, but where is it? Oh shit! I lost the hippo. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I shouldn't have named it weird. Oh god! 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 This is awkward. Oh god! I can't find it. Oh god! This is awkward. This is very, very awkward. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. You don't get to see it again. If you weren't here for the Happy Hippo segment, then you just don't get to see it. My bad. Sorry, chat. Fuck this. I'm getting out of here. Peace out, chat.